Hello and welcome to the Budget Knitter podcast channel. My name is Spargur. I am your host. I am coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada, where I live with my two dogs and normally my husband, but he is actually out this weekend. He is taking a little vacay time with some coworkers in San Francisco. I actually dropped him off at the airport not too long ago. So this weekend is just me and the dogs, but I kind of like that. I like having a little bit of alone time every now and again. Who doesn't? So, thank you for joining me. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for returning. If you are new, thank you so much for checking out my podcast. I really hope that you will enjoy it. And if you enjoyed enough, please go ahead and like and subscribe because this is a fun community and I hope that you will want to join and be more of a part of the little community that I have going here on this channel. So, if you're new, you can find me on Ravelry as WSpargurKnits. You can find me on Twitter as WSpargurKnits. You can find me on Instagram as WillMSU. There's a Facebook group for this page, or for this podcast, which is facebook.com/thebudgetknitter. And then you can also find this podcast on Ravelry. We have a group. Just search the Budget Knitter podcast and it should pop right up. In there are actually a few threads that you can join if you feel so inclined. We have the finished objects of 2018, where we are celebrating the finishing of making whatever craft it may be from January 1st of this year to December 31st of this year. So anytime you finish an object, you can post it in that thread so we can just celebrate it and be like, hey, that's awesome, I'm really glad you did that. And maybe we can get some other ideas for things that we would want to knit in the future as well. I have seen a couple of things that I would like to do coming up soon. So that's a great thing. There's no giveaway or anything associated with that. I just kind of wanted to have a community where we could support each other and congratulate each other on finishing our objects, because that is the ultimate goal, is it not? What else? Oh, there are a couple of other threads that I want to make you aware of if you don't know already. There is one in there called Questions, Comments, and Concerns. Basically, that's where I want you to let me know if there's anything that you would like me to improve on the podcast. Anything that you may think that I'm not doing well enough or could do better, you can go ahead and leave those in there. It's okay. I'm not going to get upset with whatever you say. I can take criticism. The other one is Questions for the Budget Knitter. I want to do more question and answer type videos, so if you will hop over into that thread, you can ask me a question, and part of that is whatever you ask me, you have to answer for yourself. So, I know somebody asked me if anybody in my family knits. And then they went ahead and told me that whether or not anybody in their family knit. So an example would be like, where were you born? And then you would say, well, I was born in New York, something like that. Okay? So if you want to do that, you can go ahead and hop over into that thread. I think I have about 4 questions so far, which is great. If you want to leave more of like a question in the comments on any of my videos, that's also fair game as well. I just didn't know. I don't really know kind of the ratio of the number of people who use Ravelry in a really serious manner. But if you want to ask your question just on a video or on Twitter or on Instagram or whatever you want to do, you're more than welcome to do that. I just kind of want to compile questions for my next question and answer video. What else? Okay, so that's basically all of that. A little bit of what I'm up to. So, this is the last podcast of April because I will be out of town for the remaining weekends of the month. Don't worry, I'm coming back. I will be back the first weekend of May with a podcast for you, but I am going to go home and visit my family and celebrate a couple of birthdays and go see some of my professors and friends from college. I have a lot planned. Including going to stop in at some yarn stores in Lexington, Kentucky. So I do plan to take my phone and video a little bit of what I come across while I'm there. So you can look forward to that after I get back from vacation. The other thing, a little bit about what's going on, my sister is actually in town this week. She got here Monday and she's actually leaving tonight, unfortunately. But we went hiking at Red Rock Canyon here in Las Vegas, and that is a really cool place. It's this beautiful canyon, very scenic, very rural, very out of the city. It's about 10 degrees cooler there year-round. We went hiking in one of the, I wouldn't say it's incredibly difficult, but if you're not accustomed to hiking, it's a lot. So we did that, and I am very sore. I think I twisted my ankle like 4 times. And then we went bowling and did a bunch of other things, so that was a whole lot of fun. and that was with me, my husband, and my sister and her boyfriend. And then tonight, before they leave town, we are actually going to go to the Tournament of Kings at Excalibur. That is essentially medieval times, if you've ever been to medieval times or seen medieval times. It's essentially that, but in a specific casino here, because we don't have medieval times. It's the exact same thing. It's dinner and a medieval jousting tournament. Oh yeah, if you didn't know what medieval times is, it's great. You show up, you get this awesome dinner, and you get sat in a section where you're going to cheer for a knight. And it's basically dinner theater, except that these are knights representing countries or different kingdoms, and they are battling. There's horse ride jousting, there's hand-to-hand combat, there's weaponry. This is a lot of fun. It is stage combat, but these people are trained in medieval martial arts, and it is just so much fun to just watch them go at it. You cheer for your knight, you get like a crown and a flag and all this other fun stuff. It's a whole lot of fun, so I'm really excited to do that tonight. So, with that said, I'm kind of on a time crunch, so I'm going to get through as much of this as I can relatively quickly. I actually have a lot to show you, and I'm really excited about it. I hope you are too. So let's get right into it with the works in progress that I have going at this moment. So the first thing I want to show you, I started this a week and a half ago, maybe? I am knitting, oh my goodness, hold on, it's all bundled up. I am knitting, here we go, the Boneyard Shawl by Stephen West. And this is a free pattern on Ravelry, which is nice. I've never knit much in the way of shawls. I've crocheted a lot of shawls, but knitting, I think I've only really done one. So this is kind of nice, it's fun. Since Las Vegas is getting warm already, I wanted something that was still sort of masculine and would still look pretty, but I didn't want it to be too incredibly warm. So I am knitting this out of cuddly cotton. I think it's Babe Yarns or something. I don't have a full tag. Anyway, it's cuddly cotton, and this is 100 grams for 202 yards. It is 100% cotton, and it doesn't exactly say what the weight is, but I'm assuming it's about a DK. It says needle size US 5, so I think that's about a DK. So I have 4 skeins of this. I think I only need 3, but I figured, what am I going to do with that one leftover one? I don't really have, I'm still getting used to cotton, so I might use all 4 and just make a really big shawl. But this is a really fun project. It encourages me to try some new techniques, even though it's mostly stockinette. What I like about it is this garter bump every 12 rows. But as it gets, because you increase by 4 stitches every right side row. And what I like about it is that it's relatively quick, but again, you have to purl back, and so it's encouraging me to try some new things. I've always been able to Portuguese purl, not always. I've been able to Portuguese purl for about 6 months or so, and I like that technique, and that technique is very easy on my hands. It doesn't hurt, it doesn't feel like I'm tensing up when I do it, because I tend to tense up really bad when I knit. So I can Portuguese purl, but I recently watched a video on how to mirror knit, or knit backwards, which would be kind of the vernacular way of doing it. Mirror knitting is actually the normal style of knitting for a lot of people, especially left-handed people. There are a lot of left-handed people who mirror knit as their normal style of knitting. I had never heard of that before, but it looked really interesting, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to give it a try. So occasionally, when I'm kind of over purling or Portuguese purling, I will turn the work and I will try mirror knitting, and it's an interesting technique. It's really loose, and it's making the tension on this fabric really inconsistent. And what I've noticed with cotton is that cotton is not as forgiving when your tension is not even. Whereas wool or things where they're a little bit fuzzier, it'll kind of hide some slight tension issues. Cotton shows all manner of, I made that stitch ever so slightly loose. And so I'm actually finding this a really interesting project, not only to practice just keeping my tension even, but to practice other techniques and getting that tension even, getting it to match. So it's a simple project, but it allows me to do so many things. The second thing I have going right now, I actually have one of these finished, but I guess you don't really need to see the other one. I've only got 3 rows done on it. Another set of wrist warmers. You guys will know that I knit a set of the Pioneer gloves for my stepsister for her birthday. I'm knitting another pair for my stepmom, and this is in my personal hand-dyed yarn. I did not name this colorway. It's just red with black speckles. But this is great. My favorite part is these increases that go across the palm and make that really cool design element there. It's also 3x2 ribbing, which is really pretty, and then it's got rolled edges at both the bottom and the top here. The pattern doesn't have the rolled edges at the top, but my stepmom and stepsister asked if I could do that, so I kind of just added that element myself. But it's really pretty, and I finished the first one today and I started the second one today, and I should have that done before I go home. But it's really cute. The Pioneer gloves are a free pattern on Ravelry. It's a really simple pattern. I encourage you to try it out. Okay, my third work in progress right now. There's 3 of them, but they're kind of like together. So I made some little round coasters. I crocheted these. I'm using Karen's Simply Soft in the pumpkin colorway. But I made a couple of these, and I need to steam block them so that they will lay flat. But I just, I wanted to kind of use up some of my other worsted weight yarns, and this is what I came up with. But the third thing I'm doing with it is this right now. This is all in single crochet, but this is going to be a pillow when I'm done. I'm going to continue to crochet around and around and around until I reach a certain point, and then I am going to stuff it and finish it off and make a cute little pillow, decorative pillow, and those will kind of come as a set. I'm going to make a couple more coasters to go with it, but these will kind of go as a set. Alright, so I have a couple of finished objects today as well. Unfortunately, one of them I cannot show you because it is a birthday present, and the birthday is not for another couple weeks. So follow my Instagram if you want to see it. It's my Scania shawl. Alright, so if you've seen my previous videos, I was working on the Scania, but I did finish it. So if you want to see it, it's on my Instagram. It's also posted on the Finished Objects of 2018 Ravelry page, so you can check that out there. But I can't show it to you on the podcast because the person who is receiving it watches the podcast. But the other finished object is my socks. My socks are done. These were so different from what I'm used to doing. These were toe up. These used a short row toe. I did a little cable design on the leg, which I don't know if you guys can see that. Am I using the left or the right one? This is the right one. The left one fits better on my arm, because I bound off with a needle size that was one bigger than what I was knitting with. But if you can see that, I put that little 1x1 cable in there, just because I thought that was a really cool element that's kind of unisex, and it just adds a little bit of something different versus just plain stockinette when knitting up the leg. But they're a little long for my foot. I didn't stop as soon as I should have. But these are done. I'm very proud of them. This was done in Waikiwi yarn from New Zealand. It had wool, alpaca, nylon, and possum in it. So it's a really interesting texture. They're really soft. They're really warm. This is a really fun knit. And I did, it's 50 grams per sock. So I did use one 50-gram ball per sock. And I think I'm going to work on doing, I really think I'm going to do toe-up socks from now on. I like being able to use all of the yarn. I do plan on writing a pattern out for this, for those of you that are interested, and after I've completed the pattern, I also plan to do a tutorial series on these socks, so that if you want to knit a pair as well, it's super simple, and I think you'll enjoy it. So I am going to work on writing a pattern. I don't know how soon I'm going to get to that, but I know several of you have asked for that, so I am going to work on writing a pattern. Okay. So, one other thing that happened, if y'all remember, most of this stash was donated to me, but before that had happened, my mom had actually bought me a stash as well, and I'm just now getting some of it. My sister brought 1/3 of it down with her when she flew out here, and when I go home in about a week or so, I'm sending an empty suitcase home so that I can bring the rest of it down. But I haven't even really gone through this, so I thought it might be fun for me to kind of go through this bag and see what I got, because I don't know what I got. So let me untie it. It's really tight, because my sister ties knots like a crazy person. Ow! My fingernail might come off before this bag comes untied. Yeah, that might happen. I don't want to tear the bag. Kind of need the bag. Ah, okay. Whew, okay, there's a lot in here. Let's start with this. This is Red Heart Boutique Swerve. I don't even know what that is. Fancy? I don't know what it is. It looks like it's supposed to make a scarf, like some kind of weird scarf. 81% acrylic, 17% wool, 2% other fibers. It's a super bulky yarn. And yardage is covered up by a clearance sticker. Yep, I don't... Apparently this was sold at Walmart for $2.50. Oh, here we go. It's a total of 11 yards. There's a whole 11 yards in this. Woo! Okay. Well, anyway, I have one of those. The next thing in here, these look like they're kind of the same thing, just different colors, is Lion Brand Homespun. It's this weird, bumpy yarn. I've tried to use this before, and I wasn't a huge fan. But I was knitting it. A lot of people say that this is better for crocheting, so maybe I'll give that a shot. If not, one of y'all might get some of this. Colorways. This is Earth. This is Nouveau. And they're the same thing, so where is the 98% acrylic, 2% polyester, 185 yards, and it's not giving me a size. I'm gonna say it's like a 5. I don't know. It's not on the ball band. This is also really old. A lot of this yarn is like vintage or like older. Okay, so there are also several of these, which is, I love this yarn. Super soft, super savings. I guess this is Hobby Lobby yarn. Color name is Dakota. It's made in Turkey. 252 yards, worsted weight. Yep. So, actually that's really cool. I kind of like that. I might knit a sweater out of that. I'm losing a lot of the yarn though. This is... Okay. But I got 3 of those. Oh, no. I got 4. Cool. I got a bunch of these little green balls of I have no idea. I don't know what it is. There's no ball band, but there's a bunch of these. Okay. This is Kuka yarns. It's made in Turkey. It's bulky, 50% merino, 50% acrylic. It's a size 5, and there are... Oh, it doesn't tell me how much is in here. Nope, there's no indication of yardage. Oh, 100 meters. There's 100 meters. So, I think there's a couple of those. Okay. We have Peyton's Stretch Socks, lightweight cotton blend sock yarn, which is, these are each 50 grams. It's 41% cotton, 39% wool, 13% nylon, and 7% elastic. So my sister actually really wants a pair of socks out of these, so I'll probably make her socks out of this for her. Oh no. Shoot. This one came with a crochet hook. This is more I Love This Yarn. Color name Rio. 251 yards, 100% acrylic. And I'm losing so much of it right now. Kind of a cool colorway though. And the color that is wrapped in with the red changes, so that'll be interesting. And the crochet hook it came with. Oh look, more homespun, but no ball band, so I don't know what the colorway is. This is sachet. I know exactly what this is. It's this really cool thing where you knit with like an edge and let the rest of it hang out, and it creates this cool ruffling effect. So I've got that. If you can hear squeaking in the background, that's my dogs. They've been kind of bad and having an accident in my carpet when I leave them in other rooms, so they're in their cage right now, and they're not happy about it. Oh yeah, Chip and Aaron, I do have 2 dogs. Also, Chip and Aaron, thank you for the nickname Carrots. By the way, I had a whole bag of carrots today, so thank you for that. I am forever going to remember that, and I might even have it engraved on my tombstone in your honor. So thank you. This doesn't really have a name. It just says Lova. Most of the instructions are in other languages. I'm not even going to try to decipher that, but it's black and purple. Black and purple. There's another one of these. Acrylic gray. Karen Simply Soft from what looks like 50 years ago in this cute pink color. I don't know, something red and black. Another black and purple thing. I have a lot of these. This is Debbie Bliss Boheme. 50 grams, color number 4, 52% wool, 34% acrylic, 14% polyamide. And I have a bunch of these. They're like a red and black color, and they're falling apart, and they look like they're kind of braided. So 1, 2, 3. Nope, that's that thing. 3. 4. More of this thing, the Kuka. Oh, shoot. I'm dropping stuff. Boutique fur. What the heck am I gonna do with this? And this is falling apart. It's soft though. Might stuff a pillow with it. I don't know. Do you guys like this? Do you guys use this? Do you guys want this? I don't even know. I'll figure it out. Ugh. Okay. There is a picture. It's a postcard or something. More Kuka. An acrylic. That's actually a kind of cool colorway. I might find something to use that for. There's so much in here. Land Aloft worsted weight, 100% wool, 160 yards. I don't really know what this is. Kind of cool, kind of rustic, kind of masculine, kind of boring, kind of no color. I don't know what this is. What looks like more homespun. Who is obsessed with this? I never liked it the first time. Okay. Who keeps putting stickers over this? Sparkly... I don't know. These things, they probably would go better, like, interwoven with something. I don't know. Like, these weird specialty yarns, I have no idea what to use these for. Especially, like, what is this? Like, what is this? Who uses this, and for what? I'll find something to do with it. Or I won't, and one of y'all are gonna get lucky and figure out what to do with it. There's so many things without ball bands. And one more thing. This is darn good yarn. Roving silk yarn. Fair trade reclaimed silk waste yarn. 150 yards. It's a DK weight. Huh. Interesting. I've heard of this company, but I've never used any of it. It's tied with something. Huh. That's pretty. Reclaimed... Huh. Well, now I'm very interested to use this. But is it 100% silk? I guess so. I can't read what it says on the band because, again, they put a sticker over the band. I don't know. Anyway, that's the last of what that was. Now I have to put that all back in a bag later. Yay! 1/3 of a yarn stash. I will have the other 2/3 of that in about 2 weeks. And as you can see, I have so much room to put it in here. Okay. That's a lot. I still really like this. I really like this. I might have to start something with this. This is so cute. That might stay out. It might stay out. Okay, what else? I have just a couple of other things, because again, I'm on a time crunch. Oh, a couple of my favorite things, and I buried one of them. Oh, I can get to it. Okay, so I usually use paper clips and other like small cheap things as stitch markers, but I found something that I really like. And I gotta dig them out of my Notions bag. These are Knitter's Pride stitch markers. These were $3 for all of these at my local yarn store. $3 is completely affordable for that many stitch markers. So if your local yarn store carries Knitter's Pride products, this was $3 at my local yarn store. Yours might be a little higher, a little lower, kind of depends on what the business is trying to do profit-wise. But these were $3 at my local yarn store. These are awesome. I actually do plan in the coming months to pick up several more packs of these to give these away as giveaways, because I know that stitch markers are very, very, very important, and I know everybody always needs them, and I'm always losing them, which means you're always losing them, which means you need more. So I will give you more when I get to my yarn store again locally. The only thing is a couple of them are like loose, or they might need to be like clamped back together, but that's not a big deal. But these are great. For $3, this is totally worth it. I'm using them on several projects right now. Okay, and my other favorite thing is not knitting related. Oops, I am so sorry. The camera just went whee. So I have been trying to eat slightly healthier, but something I've also been trying to do is get a little bit more protein in my diet. So recently I've been meal prepping, and one of the things I meal prepped was shredded chicken for chicken burritos. And all I did, this is amazing, simply amazing. I took 6 chicken breasts, and I put those, 1 cup of water, a packet of the McCormick taco seasoning, and half a jar of mild salsa from whatever your favorite salsa brand is, and I put it together in a crock pot, and I turned it on low for 10 hours, and it just fell apart. Well, at about the 6 or 7 hour mark, I went in and I just shredded it with a fork, and then I let it cook the rest of the way. Just shredded it, soaks up all of that delicious seasoning. I love this. So simple, I didn't even look up a recipe. I just threw crap in the crock pot, and it turned out so good. I've been eating on it for 2 weeks, and it's delicious. I mean, not one batch for 2 weeks. I made one at the beginning of each of the 2 weeks. It is so good, so delicious. I just throw a little bit extra cheese on there in a tortilla, wrap it up, it's good to go. One tip, if you don't like dripping things, I recommend that after it's kind of cooked and you're going to prep it, to drain it, to like put it in a strainer or a colander or whatever people call that, and just like kind of sit there and let all of the juices drain out before you put it in any Tupperware or anything you're going to do. I don't like it when my burritos or anything drip. I don't like mess. I try not to be messy when I eat. So I recommend draining it and then prepping it. But if you're okay with the little bit of juices and you want to keep those with it, by all means, keep it. You can even keep it in the crock pot and keep it warm for like a day or two before you probably need to move it to the fridge. But no, it's delicious. I love it. Great thing. Again, 1 cup of water, 6 chicken breasts, thawed chicken breasts, 1 packet of McCormick taco seasoning, and half a jar of your favorite salsa. Small jar, not the tall like paste ones, but like the little Tostitos ones. Tostinos, whatever that brand is. We have Smith's / Kroger here. So I just used their like Kroger brand, but it's like the short fat jar. That one. Half a jar of that, and you just put it in there and let it cook. It's delicious. It's amazing. I promise you, you should try it. If you are a meat eater, you should try it. If you are not a meat eater, I don't have an alternative for you, but you probably know an alternative, so you should still try it. It's delicious. Anyway, that's all I have for you. I'm sorry to have like powered through this, but I have things that I have to do, and I kind of feel bad for locking up the dogs. So thank you so much for joining me. I have a couple of videos in the works that I want to have posted to get you through the rest of April, because I don't want to just leave you hanging. And then I will be back with another podcast on the first weekend of May, and I hope you will be here to join me. I love and thank all of you for all of the support you give me, all of your support and kindness and kind words and just interactions that I have with you. That's really what keeps this going. There really are times when I get home and I'm like, I really don't want to film, or I really just don't feel like this is going anywhere. And then I speak with you on Instagram or on Ravelry or on Facebook, and I'm reminded about why I love being a part of this community. So thank you so much for pushing me to do something that I love to do when sometimes what I love to do doesn't love me back. So just thank you so much, and I really hope that you are having a great year so far, and if you're not, I'm so sorry. I will send whatever positive thoughts I can your way, but I am going to go watch people in armor beat the crap out of each other. So I hope you have a great day, a great week, a great month, a great year, and I will see you all again very soon here on the Budget Knitter Podcast channel. Bye.